It was Military Appreciation Day here at Farrington Stadium for the ASU Invitational. If you were sitting in, well, these very seats, you would have witnessed a few things. The first being 2 Sun Devil wins. They beat Nebraska and Lehigh. Then, you would have noticed Kendra Hackbarth hit not 1, but 2 leadoff home runs. ASU opens their second tournament of the season 2-0 after beating Louisville in game number 1 3-0, and then moving on to game number 2 where they had to take on a top 10 team in Kentucky. They upset Kentucky with a score of 3-2. Jordan Spurgeon here with Sarah Abbott and Valentina Martinez for WCSN. We're here at Para Club in Tempe, Arizona for beach volleyball for the maroon and gold scrimmage. Sarah, just to break down what beach volleyball is, I know it's a growing program here in Arizona. Can you explain what it is like on the sand for these players out here for beach volleyball? Sort of narrowing it down to Sun Devil volleyball specifically, who are some of the duos that we should be looking out for here in the 2020 season? You heard it here first. Caitlin and Samantha, look out for them this season. We're having fun out here at Para Club. They got the music going. It's really a great time. You're definitely going to want to come check it out. Sarah, just before we wrap it up here, can you explain what the environment's like once we get into actual gameplay starting next week? The Sun Devils had a great weekend here at the Sun Devil Classic. They went 4-1. Including their final game on Sunday when they beat Maryland 16-2 in a tale of really 2 halves. In the first portion of the game, from the first and the second inning, they scored 5 runs, 2 and 3 respectively, by drawing walks, getting base hits with runner in scoring position, and staying patient at the plate. Then, in the third inning, Alina Torres hits her 8th home run of the season and opens the long ball floodgate. 7. That number has a lot of meaning for this ASU men's basketball team. They've won 7 games in a row, in Pac-12 play might I add, after sweeping the Oregon schools this past weekend. They have now quickly gone from potentially living up to their preseason poll prediction of finishing in 6th place to now owning sole possession of 1st place for the first time this late into February in program history. They've been in the former Pac-10, now Pac-12 conference for 42 years and have never won a conference title. Now, with an unbeaten starting lineup with Mickey Mitchell Two Shoes in it, who, yes, doesn't put up box score stats, but takes on the most punishing defensive assignments on a nightly basis and provides a much-needed toughness to this unit, and a JUCO transfer in Alonzo Verge off the bench, who can pull in Olympics Kobe and tell everyone to get out the way to get a bucket at any time in crucial situations. This team sits atop the Pac-12 as they now control their own destiny the rest of the way. 7. They haven't won 7 games in a row in conference play since 1981. Some important events in 1981 were MTV launching on cable television, Ronald Reagan coming into office as president, and ASU was led by Byron Scott, who went on to play in the NBA for 14 seasons and has coached multiple NBA franchises. And just for the sake of it, ASU's average in-state tuition was $350 in 1981. Today, it's over $10,000 for in-state students. Do with that what you must. There is an argument to be made that this team peaked too early, but I say they figured out their identity just in time. Their first 3 big wins of the season against Georgia, Oregon State, and Arizona were all followed by disappointing losses. That changed this week when they followed up their 77-72 victory over number 14 ranked Oregon by digging deep and beating Oregon State 74-73 with a come from behind victory when energy was low. With 4 games remaining, this team will look to turn the number 7 into an 8. Then a 9, then a 10, then an 11, and maybe, just maybe, winning a Pac-12 title will be the first milestone of the season for the Sun Devils. Cielo Meza was nearly perfect in the season opener against Portland State, until she gave up a hit in the top of the 5th. Well, she made up for that one hitter the only way she knew how, by tossing a no-no on Sunday night against Seattle, where she dominated with 14 strikeouts. The Long Beach State transfer, now second-year Sun Devil, has her 3rd career collegiate no-hitter and her 1st as a Sun Devil.
Jordan, what inconsistencies have you seen from the Sun Devils that they need to clean up before they get into Pac-12 play?
Well, Jacob, inconsistencies could be a strong word. Like we said earlier, this team is 12-5. The one thing I've noticed with this Sun Devil softball team, though, they rely a lot on the long ball, so they're not hitting a lot of doubles, and when they get runners in scoring position on 2nd and 3rd, they're really having a tough time being able to get those little base hits, those ground balls through the 5-6 hole, the 3-4 hole, in order to bring in more runs, especially when they're trailing against tougher competition come Pac-12 play. That could really come back to haunt them, so they're going to want to continue to work on the small ball game a little bit in order to have continued success.
Is this something that we can continue to expect from her moving forward?
Well, in baseball and softball, there's a saying, hitters can hit. It doesn't matter what level they are at. So she hit over 600 in high school, 653 as a senior, never hit below 500 in her 4 years in varsity in high school. This season, she's hitting .393 with 7 home runs. She's knocked in 20 RBIs, all those leading the Sun Devils this season. And this is just the tip of the iceberg for her. I think she's going to continue to get better. I'm not saying she's going to hit .393 every single year in college, but she's going to continue to hit more doubles. She's going to walk a little bit more, strike out a little bit less. And I think that Alina Torres, we're just seeing the start here for her in her Sun Devil career. It was a successful leap day for ASU football in their first day of full pads in practice. A couple players on offense that stood out were freshman running back Demontum Treanum, who was really tough for the ASU defense to bring down despite all the success they had tackling other players on the ASU offensive squad. And then, of course, quarterback Jaden Daniels looked really sharp in practice today. Only his 3rd practice. He missed the first practice on Monday. And now here, full pads, leap day, extra day of February. ASU football takes advantage of that extra day. They will look to continue to bring the same energy out into March. A lot of fans were out here. The team is ready to go, and spring football is well underway. Next weekend, the Sun Devils will be right back here at Farrington Stadium to host the ASU Invitational from Friday to Sunday before they begin Pac-12 play. Reporting from Tempe at Farrington Stadium, Jordan Spurgeon, Cronkite Sports.